92% of enterprise leaders say AI is critical to their business. Only 18% have a documented AI strategy. That gap isn't a planning problem. It's an existential one. Think about what's happening right now in your organization. You've probably got an AI pilot running somewhere. Maybe it's a chatbot. Maybe it's automating invoice processing. It's delivering quick wins. And your board is happy. But here's what keeps senior executives awake at night in 2026. Pilots don't scale. Projects end. Strategies compound. When you treat AI as a project, it operates in isolation. Your Gen AI initiative sits in one division. Your machine learning team reports to someone else entirely. Your data infrastructure was built 5 years ago and doesn't talk to your AI systems meanwhile. Competitors in Singapore, India, and across Southeast Asia are doing something different. They're embedding AI into their operational DNA. And they're pulling ahead. According to McKinsey's 2025 AI report, organizations with an enterprise-wide AI strategy see productivity gains 3.4 times higher than those running disconnected projects. 3.4 times. That's not incremental. That's transformational. And if you don't have that strategy locked in by MID 2026, the gap becomes irreversible. Here's what we're unpacking in the next 8 minutes. We're not talking about technology. We're talking about the 3 non-negotiable pillars that separate executives who build AI-driven enterprises from those who bankroll expensive proof of concepts that never materialize. First, we'll break down why strategy and projects are fundamentally different, and why your CFO needs to understand the distinction before you spend another dollar. Second, we'll walk through how the most sophisticated leaders are structuring their AI capabilities to actually compound over time instead of getting archived when the vendor contract expires. Third, we'll show you the governance framework that's working in Asia Pacific right now, and how to adapt it for your specific organizational context. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what questions to ask your leadership team this week to determine whether you have a strategy or just a very expensive project. Let's go. The first insight. Strategy builds on itself. Projects come to an end. Here's the hard truth. A project has a deadline, a budget line, and success metrics that live on a spreadsheet. When the project ends, people reassign. Tools get shelved. Knowledge walks out the door. You're back to square one. A strategy is different. It's a thesis about how AI transforms the core economic model of your business. It answers the question, what does our business look like in 3 years if we successfully embed AI into every relevant decision point and operation? Recent research from Gartner in 2025 found that 74% of enterprises using AI have experienced unplanned deployment failures. Why? Because they prioritized speed over architecture. They built projects without the strategic scaffolding to support them. Look at what DBS Bank did in Singapore. They didn't launch 17 separate AI initiatives. They built a unified enterprise AI strategy centered on predictive customer intelligence, automated risk assessment, and intelligent wealth management. Every project ladders up to that strategy. When one AI capability matures, the underlying data infrastructure, governance frameworks, and talent pipelines are already in place to deploy the next one. That's strategy. Your application this week. Schedule a conversation with your Chief Data Officer and Chief Information Officer. Ask them this specific question. If I pull up every AI and machine learning initiative across this organization, can you show me how each one ladders up to a single coherent strategy? Or are they islands? If they hesitate, You know you're running projects, not strategy. The second critical insight. Capabilities compound when they're architected as platforms, not point solutions. This is where most organizations get it dangerously wrong. They see a problem. They commission a vendor. The vendor delivers a tool. The problem gets solved. Everyone celebrates. And then they move to the next problem with a different vendor and a different stack. You end up with 37 different AI tools. None of them talking to each other. None of them leveraging shared data. None of them learning from each other's training. According to IDC's 2025 Enterprise AI Adoption Survey, organizations that deployed AI on a platform architecture showed 68% faster time to value compared to point solution deployments. That's the compounding effect in action. Here's a concrete example from India. Infosys restructured its AI capabilities around a unified data and AI platform instead of maintaining 23 separate machine learning projects. Within 18 months, they reduced model development time by 45%, increased model accuracy by moving toward federated learning, and created an internal marketplace where one business unit's trained models could be shared and refined by another. That's platform thinking. The application for your organization is immediate. Audit your current AI spending. How much is going to point solutions? And how much is being invested in platform infrastructure? If your ratio is anything other than roughly 35% point solutions and 65% platform, you're architecting for fragmentation, not compounding value. The third pillar is governance that locks in value instead of creating bureaucracy. This is the piece that gets skipped in most organizations because it's not shiny. There's no press release about governance. But governance is where strategy either lives or dies. Recent Deloitte research from 2026 shows that enterprises with mature AI governance models achieve regulatory compliance on 91% of deployments on first attempt. Organizations without it, 42% compliance. That's not just a risk metric, that's a speed metric. Non-compliant AI deployments get delayed, audited, rewritten, and sometimes killed entirely. Here's what governance actually looks like at scale. The World Economic Forum published a framework in 2025 highlighting that leading organizations operate AI governance through 3 layers. Strategic governance, which is your AI steering committee. Operational governance, which manages model deployment and performance. And ethical governance, which ensures responsible AI across customer experience and regulatory requirements. Take a regional example. A multinational financial services firm operating across Southeast Asia and India had 17 different interpretations of responsible AI lending. When they centralized governance around a single risk framework, they saw deployment velocity increase by 39% because teams weren't debating first principles anymore. The governance was a floor, not a ceiling. For you, this week, audit whether you have documented governance across those 3 layers. If your chief risk officer can't articulate how AI models are approved, monitored, and retired, you need governance architecture before you launch the next initiative. Let's imagine you act on this. You move from projects to strategy in the next 90 days. By mid 2026, your AI investments start compounding instead of expiring. A marketing team's language model now feeds intelligence to your product development. Your supply chain visibility AI, once live, surfaces cost-saving opportunities that your finance function immediately quantifies and acts on. Your customer service AI learns patterns that get transferred into your risk assessment models. Knowledge and capability multiply. Your board meetings change. Instead of reviewing 18 separate AI initiatives, you're reviewing AI-driven business outcomes. Market share, customer acquisition cost, revenue per employee, operational expense reduction. Those are the metrics that matter. More importantly, your competitors don't catch you off guard anymore. You're not frantically trying to catch up with the latest AI trend because your strategy is the lighthouse. Generative AI in 2025 was a project. By 2027, it's just infrastructure in your organization because you architectured it that way. Your teams feel it too. The data scientist who trained 3 separate models last year is now focusing on problems that actually move business needles. The product manager isn't fighting for budget to prove an AI concept works. She's optimizing within an AI-native product architecture. The organization runs faster because it's aligned. That's not transformation theater. That's the operational advantage that separates market leaders from followers in 2026 and beyond. Before you leave, I want you to do one thing. Go back to your leadership team and ask them to finish this sentence. Our AI strategy in one sentence is. If they can't answer it cleanly, you have your answer. You're running projects. The comment section below is where we want to hear from you. Are you operating with a documented AI strategy right now? Or are you managing a portfolio of projects? How many disconnected AI initiatives are actually running in your organization? We read every serious comment, and we respond to them. Next week, we're breaking down the AI skill gap that's quietly destroying executive credibility in boardrooms across Asia Pacific. We're talking about what senior leaders actually need to know about machine learning, large language models, and AI infrastructure. Thanks for listening. If you found this valuable, please subscribe to Apex Minds D4J for more powerful insights. See you in the next one.